Hi and welcome to Natural Aesthetics. These are some highlights from week 6, day 2, week 6, day 3 and week 7, day 1. Really just exemplifies the struggle that I'm facing as I'm moving through the weeks on this Madcow routine. So at some point the program gets very hard very quickly. There's a real clear tipping point where your body can really no longer recover between sessions. You start missing reps and then it will more than likely be time to reset. Generally this happens anywhere between week 5 and week 8. In most cases. At some point the weight's going to get you, those increases are no longer going to be possible. But I think, to be honest, I actually started that cycle of fatigue by my own poor programming. I mentioned last week in the video. On the Wednesday session I did extra sets of Bulgarian split squats. The squat racks are busy, and instead of going in and doing my normal light squats on the Wednesday, I did these split squats, and the DOMs were so severe that it really hindered my third squat session on the Friday, and in actual fact I didn't squat until the Sunday session, and I hit that only on the second attempt. So that obviously had a massive negative effect on my squatting during week 6, and the first session did not go well. I only managed 4 instead of 5 reps at that same weight, 1 rep more than the Sunday session, but still not great. And then because of that struggle, the deadlifts, which you watched at the beginning of the video, and the overhead press didn't go to plan, and they were both very hard. You know, some clear fatigue in my core as a result of those real heavy, hard squats. And then moving on to day 3, I actually managed to get the 3 reps at 162.5, but it did not feel easy. There's, a lot of fatigue now that's been built up, and it's hard to kind of shake it off. It's hard to get out that cycle of fatigue. If that one exercise is harder than you'd expect it to be, and you really have to grind out the reps, then that next exercise you do in 2 days' time will no doubt be significantly harder as well, especially when it comes down to squats and deadlifts. You get caught up in a vicious cycle. The body is literally that sensitive to any extra work that you do, and especially on a program like this, it's really best not to meddle with it. Just stick to the basics because it works. Don't throw in too much extra work. It might only take 3 extra sets to kind of send you over that tipping point where your body is no longer able to recover in between sessions successfully. So this is still day 3 of week 6. Just finished up the squats, which was successful as I mentioned, then moving on to the pen lay row, finishing up with 8 reps on the Friday session on each exercise, and then doing some arms to finish, kind of mixing up between some looser form stuff and some strict work. The best of both worlds, in my opinion. That's what I like to do with my arm training. So for Madcow, you'll find it a lot easier adding weight on your exercise between the Monday session and the Friday session than you would do adding reps between the Friday session and the following Monday. It's much harder for the body to do that than it is, adding a small amount of weight for lower reps. And that's generally what you'll struggle with the following Monday session from the Friday. So as you can see here, by this day, I did the squats. I worked up to the 3 reps. I'm not to say it was easy. It was hard at 162.5. But then going into the following week, so after 2 days of recovery and good food, but I will say on the Sunday session, I did walk for maybe 2 to 3 hours, which doesn't sound like a lot. You're only walking, but as I mentioned before, your body is so sensitive to any stimulus when you're doing programs like this that it can sometimes be too much. And as a result, I did not do the reps required. I only managed 3, which was the same as the prior Friday. So I hadn't recovered enough. What I did do the extra 2 reps as singles, but they were brutal. They just did not feel good at all. I just didn't feel good on this day. Or at least on the squats. The other exercises went okay. As you can see here, just not looking comfortable at all. And as I mentioned, that's just the accumulation of fatigue on a day-to-day basis. Each session has a negative impact on the next session, and then if you do any extra work in between, even walking, as stupid as it sounds, can have an impact on that training session. So pen lay rows were great. Worked up to a heavy set of 5 at 105 kilos, and then some shoulder pressing, 4 reps, military press at 35 kilos in each arm. I think this is a PB for me. I don't think I've ever done this before, so really chuffed with that. No belt as well. No belt still on any of my exercises. So yeah, really happy with that. The chest is getting there. It's nearly recovered. These are 35 kilos for a nice easy set of 5. And I'll add 5 kilos each time I do this exercise, probably every second day of training, until I'm able to do 5 at 50, and then I'll be kind of back to where I was. So doing some wrist curls and some reverse curls at the end of the video. Got to hit the forearms, guys. Don't neglect the forearms. It's just as important as biceps and triceps. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to see more. Don't forget to click on that notification button to be made aware of any videos I upload automatically. Stay strong.